Hello student, I will welcome to all of you. I am Rohini Daun from Computer Science Department, KTHM College, Nasik. In the previous session, we learned about the server information, then the sticky forms, and in this session, we learn about the file uploads. $_files. This is the super global variable which is used for the file uploads. Any information related to the file is stored in the $_file array. It is an associative array of file uploaded to the current script via HTTP post method. And $_files and the HTTP post files are the HTTP file upload variable. And $HTTP post file contains the same information, that is the information about the any uploaded files, but is not a super global. That means the $HTTP post file and the $_files are the different variable and the PHP handles them differently.
A PHP script can be used with the HTML form to allow users to upload files to the server. Initially, files are uploaded into a temporary directory and then relocated to a target destination by the PHP script. PHP $_files array is used to handle the file uploads from a client computer to the remote server. There is a one global PHP variable called the $_files and is an associate double dimension array and keeps all the information related to the uploaded file. Then there are some keys related with the file uploads, which is name, type, size of the file and the temporary name. First one is the name. The name of the file as supplied by the browser. It's difficult to make meaningful use of this, as the client machine may have different file name conventions than the web server.
After that, next key is type. The MIME type of the uploaded file means multipurpose internet mail extension as a guest at by the client. Next key is the size. The size of the uploaded file. If the user attempted to upload a file that was too large, the size is reported as the 0. Then next one is the TMP_name. The name of the temporary file on the server that holds the uploaded file. If the user attempted to upload a file that was too large, the name is reported as a none. Consider example here, $_file name, temporary name. It gives the uploaded file in the temporary directory on the web server. Next one is the name, that the actual name of the uploaded file. Then the next one is the size in bytes of the uploaded file. Here $_files file name and here type, the MIME type of the uploaded file, and last one is the error. It gives the error code associated with this file upload. Consider the example for to upload the file and display its information like name, size and the type. Here we design a HTML script as well as the PHP script in the same file by using the self-referencing page. Here we can write down this in the action tag. After that we can use here the method is equal to post method. Then we can use the one special enc type is equal to multipart/form data. This attribute of the form tag specifies which content type to use when submitting the form. Is used when a form requires binary data like the contents of a file to be uploaded. And here we can also use here the input type is equal to file. Attribute of the input tag specifies that the input should be processed as a file. That is, when view on a web browser, there will be a browser button next to the input field to search for the file, and then we can take one submit button here having the value upload file or the image. After that, we can write down here the PHP script. We check here the method is equal to post. Then for the displaying the information of the uploaded file, we can take here the $_file superglobal variable. Then we can write here the file and the name. By using this attribute, it will display the name of the file, and then this data will be stored into the $F. After that, in this $F, we can retrieve the size of the file, and then we can display simply here the size of the file in the bytes format. We can write down here the name of the file. After that, we can also display the file name on the server, which is displayed by using the attribute tmp_name, and we can also display the error message related with the uploaded file by using the error attribute. And after that, we can close the PHP tag here. Response header. As we already discussed, the HTTP response that a server sends back to a client contain headers that identify the type of the content in the body of the response. The server that sends the response, how many bytes are in the body when the response was sent. And the PHP and Apache normally take care of the headers for you for the identifying the document as a HTML, calculating the length of the HTML page, and so on. Most web applications never need to set header themselves. However, if you want to send back some things that's not HTML and set the expiration time for a page, then redirect the client's browser or generate a specific HTTP error, you will need to use the header function. Here there are the different possible parameters of the header. First one is the content type. The content type header identifies the type of the document being written, and this is text or the HTML format and indicating an HTML document, but there are other useful document types also. The only catch to setting headers is that you must do so before any of the body is generated. This means that all calls to the header are by using the setCookie function, and here must happen at the very top of your file, even before the HTML tag. Consider this example. In this example, we can set here the header. By using the header function, we can set the content type, text or the plain here. After that, we can set the data as a document, date, from, to, and the subject and the statement here. And by running this or attempting this code to set the header after the document has started, results in this code for the warning, and it will generate the warning. Cannot add header information and header already sent here. Means it will send the header and you cannot use here this type of the document. Next topic is the redirection related with the headers. To send browser to new URL known as a redirection, you set the location header. Consider this code here. You can set here the header by using the location attribute. You can set the http www.google.com and you can send here the abc.html. In this example here, if you provide a partial URL only abc.html and the redirection is handled internally by the web server, and this is only really useful as the browser generally won't learn that is not getting the page is requested, and if there are the relative URL in the new document, the browser will interpret them as a being relative to the document is requested and not the document is was sent. In general, you will want to redirect to an absolute URL. Then the next topic is the expiration. A server can explicitly inform the browser and any proxy caches that might be between the server and the browser of a specific date and time for the document to expire, and the proxy and the browser caches can hold the document until that the time or the expire it earlier. Repeated reloads of a cached document do not contact the server, and however an attempt to fetch an expired document does contact the server. Here to set the expiration time of the document, here use the expire header, means you can use here the header function, and in this header you can use here the expire colon and then you can set the expiration time by using the expire attribute. After that, authentication. HTTP authentication works through request header and the response statuses. A browser can send a username and a password for the credentials in the request headers. If the credential does not send or does not satisfactory, the server sends 401 unauthorized response and identifies the real name of authentication via www authenticate header, and these typically pop-ups and enter username and the password by using the dialog box on the browser, and the page is then re-requested with the updated credentials in the header. To handle authentication in PHP, check the username and password by using here PHP auth underscore user and the PHP auth PW elements of the $_ server superglobals, and call a header to send the real name and the send 401 unauthorized response. Here we can set by using the header function www authenticate :basic real name is equal to top secret. As per the syntax of the authenticate headers, this authenticate headers response header defines the authentication method that should be used to gain access to resource. And here as per the syntax www authenticate then the colon type, we can use here the type is equal to basic, then real name. Real name is a description of the protected area. If no real name is specified, clients often display a formatted hostname instead. And then we can set here the value is equal to top secret files. And we can also use here the 401 unauthorized response. Thank you.